All right, cool. So we're live, we're going live. We're doing everything live with all this technical difficulty.
How long have we been live?
Just now. What's up, Profitable Stylist? We starting a little late. We had some technical difficulty troubles. This is usually how it goes. At the end of the day at the salon, you're completely wiped out. You're exhausted. You don't know what you're doing anymore. You don't even know how you got through the day. And you just kind of sit back. You're hanging out. And this is something that we do at the salon that I'm at is we play this little game. You know, sometimes we get other stylist friends that we know and then the stylists at the shop that we're at. And this is going to be a little bit of a surprise to Bernard because he's not fully prepared for this. And I'm doing this on purpose. I want to see. So I'm going to throw a couple of facts at you and get your response.
I'm nervous.
You're nervous. So this is what we do. We usually drinks are involved too, and it becomes like a drinking game.
These are my notes for today.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely nothing. I have all the notes. Now, so the whole thing about being profitable, we start discussing, like you have business meetings with your staff. You have staff meetings and you have goals set for them. But then one of the things is when you look at what's going on out there in the world with the clients and what they're looking for is what we are doing in behind the chair connected to what the clients are looking for out there. And going off some of these facts, sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. So for example, do you know or were you aware that hair loss solutions is a term that's Googled over 1 million times a month?
No, I'm glad to hear it though, because I was just at a transitions group meeting last weekend where it was some of the top hair loss professionals in the country. And they get together for, I don't know, sharing ideas, marketing power, marketing so much more than I ever understood. And I'd actually like to get the girl who helps organize and run this thing interviewed on here in the next week or two. I just sent her a link to this. So when she sees this, she's going to be like, oh, wait, you want me on there? But it's funny because, yes, let me just say this. I'm super nervous. Eddie said, let's do something different. I'm going to go with some of the top trending topics that hairdressers are searching for, and we'll talk about that. And I thought he was going to send me a list of what those topics were, and he never did. So all I've got today is this growing out mullet. Just trying to grow this mullet out. And a piece of paper and pen here with nothing on it, waiting to hear what you're going to do today that might be interesting to hairdressers that follow us. So what did you get out of people? You're saying that that's the number one thing searched by?
No, not the number one thing searched. It's just that it's searched 1 million times a month. Clients are going out there searching for hair loss solutions. Now, hair loss solutions could be retail products. It could be services. It could be treatments. It could be do it your home. How you call it? Do it yourself. DIY, right?
DIY.
Yeah, bring your own beer or something. I don't know. BYOB. You know?
DIY.
Yeah. So it's a very interesting thing because
DIY. You know what? I said it wrong too. You got me mixed up. Do it yourself. DIY project.
DIY. Do it yourself.
DIY.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So to become profitable behind the chair, we're always looking for different things to do, and we're looking to expand our services. Now, are you the services that you're expanding and the services that you're doing? Are you doing it in line with what society is looking for, what the market is bearing, right? And that's the whole thing. Whether it's hair extensions, whether it's regrowth services, whether it's scalp treatments, whether it's hair loss, hair replacement, what are you doing behind the chair? And are the services that you're doing in line with what people are looking for? Over 1 million searches a month is a very strong statistic.
Yeah, and that's powerful because, listen, I think every single person listening to this that's in the hair industry can benefit from that. This is my take on that. That covers almost everything we do as hairdressers. You can just be a basic barber or stylist that does nothing but haircuts and still benefit from that search. Because if you position yourself as an expert stylist that does not cause hair loss because you use the top techniques, you care about hair, you use the right products, good products, teach people how to take care of their hair correctly at home so that they don't have hair loss. That's a start. That's a start right there, because I was a specialist expert in curly hair, and people would come to me for curly hair because other stylists were damaging their curly hair from just doing bad styles, bad blowouts. But of course, we take it to the next step. Almost everyone is dabbling in hair extensions lately. So if somebody is having some hair loss, just a few little pieces on the sides to add a little fullness on each side of the head can be a solve also for hair loss. And then you've got hair replacement for the top of the head. You've got trichology products. You've got lasers. I mean, you can sell all of these services, or you can do them in a salon to make money. So that's interesting that it's searched. That's exciting to me, because the last 2 weekends in a row, I was at hair loss, hair replacement. You were at one of them with me, conventions, meetings, conferences, whatever you want to call it. It was small niche groups that some of you stylists probably should be a part of. And we'll talk more about that in the future. But that's all I have to say about hair. I could talk forever about hair loss, but how many topics do you have today that we're going to try to cover?
Oh, I got a couple. I'm going to throw them at you and see how hard I can burn you out today. All right. 80% more searches than the prior year. Consumers are looking for specific hair needs in loose wavy, wavy on the borderline curly, and springy curly hair. Tight curly hair.
What's the search? I don't understand.
Okay. So in the salon, and I'm guilty of this myself, if I were to give a percentage of what my clientele are as far as the texture of their hair,
Yeah.
I could comfortably say about 80% of my clientele have straight hair. Only 20% have maybe wavy or curly hair, right?
Right.
Now, in my salon, both Sabrina and I are considered the curly hair specialists, stylists. So meaning if a client comes in who has wavy and curly hair, we take them more because we know how to work with curly hair more than the average stylist does. And when I sample and interview stylists, they do a lot of straight hair. They are not comfortable with curly hair.
So what's the search?
The search is there's an 80% increase year over year in curly hair searches. How to maintain, deal with, find stylist products, services that include wavy to curly hair.
I like it. So listen, 30 years ago when I became a hairdresser, in school, we did 2 or 3 perms a day.
A day.
A day. So, and it was only took an hour and a half. Stylists today freak out if they get a perm on their book this month or this year. They're like, oh my God, I don't want to do it. Or I say no. I mean, most salons don't even have perm solution in the building. They have to order a perm for that one perm a year they do. I loved it. I still love it. Yes, it stinks. I mean, perms, some smell better than others. I hate the smell. But ironically, like 2 minutes before we got on this call, a girl sent me a picture of her hair, and it's wavy. And I love wavy, curly hair. I still do. And, the question's going to be something about the wavy hair, or if I can do her hair, or she's, I didn't even get a chance to read the text yet. I just saw the hair and loved it. And then you brought it up, and that's the first image that came into my mind. But one of the things you can do is say you said specialist. And I learned a tip or a trick from a guy this weekend, a little side note that can help you in anything search engine optimization wise. He said, and this was in hair replacement, you could do it in curly hair, you can do it in color highlights. Instead of saying you're a specialist or a leader, Google tends to like the word expert. So if you are bold enough to put curly hair expert, if you're going to do it, or highlight expert in your name on Google, or in your business website where Google reads it, you will get bumped up naturally. So let that be a little value for the day. But when you say curly hair, I was going to say 30 years ago, I was doing, a couple of perms a day, We were doing so many perms that curly hair was so crazy. And then Madonna and Cher in the same few months came out on music videos and had their hair parted straight down the middle, straighter than I ever seen in my life. And as stylists, we were all like, how did they get it so straight? Now, it was probably wigs. I have no idea. Back then we had no clue that so many celebrities wore wigs. Dolly Parton at the most. But we were like, how do they get it so straight? Because all of our flat irons were like the size of our head, you know? They were big, giant. They were at least the size of your hand. There were no flat irons that were skinny and kind of low profile that you could get that close to the head. So it was hard to flatten hair and not get lift at the scalp in the beginning. And then we all got the little flat irons. Everybody has at least one or two or three, different sizes and shapes, different heats. And then they had heat controls. We were all started flat ironing hair. Now, then I remember a year or two later, all the trend magazines said, curly hair's coming back. And as a curly hair guy, expert, I was so excited. I'm like, we're going to start doing wavy curly hair again. I love it. And it didn't happen. And that was, that was after 10 years of doing curly hair. And so 20 years ago, I can say that straight hair came in. And this is a guess. Whenever Cher and Madonna first did it, and then everybody did it. And you know what? It's the longest freaking trend I've ever seen. For almost 20 years, straight hair has been super popular. And it hasn't been until recently that I've actually seen curly hair and wavy hair actually coming back as a bit of a trend. I mean, it 20-year trend of straight hair has been a little ridiculous. So recently, we've actually done a few perms in the salon. I'm growing this mullet out, and I'm actually kind of like letting it go wavy, whereas that would have been taboo not too long ago. I know everybody, it's the wolf cut. That's a modern name. I'm doing the wolf cut, not the mullet. All I got to get, you know what? What are the glasses called? A little trivia question. Somebody told me, if you're going to wear a mullet, you have to wear a certain pair of sunglasses with it. I'm not going to say it on here. If you can remind me in the next video next week, I'll say what it is. But a few people have asked me, it's a certain pair of sunglasses you're supposed to wear when you have a mullet.
Are you saying like a brand name, or you're saying
a brand?
It's
a brand.
Okay.
It's a brand of sunglasses. So anyway, I helped one of my new stylists that never did a perm in school, hired her. She's working here a couple of weeks. She gets all nervous. A guy came in, wants his hair permed. We permed it. White rods. White rods. It's not wavy. That's kind of curly. Not super curly, but pretty curly. And he loved it. I loved it. Sure, it smelled a little bit, but it was so much fun. I did it so fast and easy. I wrapped the whole thing for her, showed her how to apply all the solutions, towel dry, and it was so much fun. But I think the biggest mistake people make with curly hair is they everything about combing, brush. We did a curly hair video not too long ago where we talk about all this. Everything about doing straighter hair tends to be from the top down, brushing, running your fingers through your hairs from the scalp to the ends. And curly hair is almost like playing all of those videos in reverse. You don't pull from the scalp. You push to the scalp. You help fluff, push, let go, and let it stay tighter. And so when you're using products, I guess the negative in the styling in the product is the water. The water in your hair makes it heavy and wants to hang straight. You put product in the hair so that as the water evaporates, either naturally through the day or with a diffuser or a blow dryer, you're pushing the weight out of the hair so that as the water evaporates, the product can hold the hair curly, or the hair itself can hold itself curly. That, in a nutshell, is what I would say about curly hair if you want to have just a tiny bit of a tutorial how to style it better. But the trends of curly hair, what I've seen from the 80s to today, is 80s was the bigger this way and this way. And the more modern look is a little flatter here and then bigger down here.
Bottom. Yeah.
That's the only bigger on the bottom. That's the only difference I've seen in the trend. But I don't even know what the question is other than you better start doing curly hair. You're going to miss out on these searches. I love curly hair. Just pick up a little of my passion for it and do a little bit of curly hair. Even if you just style, almost everybody's hair has some wave in it. If you put the right products and you just push it up as you're drying it, you're going to get some curl without a perm. You don't have to do a perm.
You are so excited.
I love curly hair.
That one specifically was for you. That was a gimme for you. That was like a freebie for you, you know?
Oh, good. Well, thank you. I didn't even write any notes.
I knew you'd be nervous because I knew I'd be hitting you with all these random things and you have no idea what to expect today.
I could keep on talking about curly hair. I think people, like, I'm looking at hair hanging on a rack over there, and I'm thinking people come in for a perm sometimes, and I'll say, let's shampoo your hair and see how it falls naturally. Shake your head, let's see it. And it's so often they don't need a perm. They need to be taught how to style their hair. They said, oh, I just want beach waves. And I'm like, my goodness, most Americans are descendants of wavy haired other countries. It's rare. Like the very few Indians from India and American Indians are the two that have some pretty straight, smooth hair in general. Most other cultures have some variation of curl. Most European Americans have a wavy hair. Black people have a very curly hair. Most of us have a pretty wavy to curly hair and just need to learn how to style it. So as stylists, we've been flat ironing hair for so long that you don't even realize. You just need to put a product in there. And then there's two big categories of hold. One is like what's in my hair. It's just a soft, like a pomade or a cream or not something that makes my hair solid. You know, I can move it around. It can be crazy. It can stand up or it can go down because it's a movable product. Whereas most people that do wavy curly hair or curls put a gel or a mousse that dries hard and crispy. So you just have to decide, do you want hard and crispy or do you want soft and silicone-like? That's all I'm saying. I'm going to stop with the curly hair because I can keep talking. What's the next search topic?
All right. This is a 900% increase, right?
That's big.
90s blowouts. So
90s.
Yeah, in the 90s. So you mentioned it's awesome that you actually mentioned Madonna and Cher when they came out. That was in the later 90s, almost early 2000s, you know, and they had the sleek, straight hair. And then that was the decade of moving on into keratin smoothing and permanent straightening and all of those, you know, Brazilian blowouts and all of those kind of stuffs, right? But right before then was in the 90s, you had like the grunge era. You know, you had like the punk rocker era, you know, you had it was coming off the 80s. So the big hairspray hair and the big blowed up curly hair was kind of leveling off a little bit. And then it was going more into like the smooth, flowy, fluffy, you know, natural blown out hair. So that was reminiscent of the 90s. And everything that's old becomes new again. And that's what's starting to come back around is that 90s, you know, that movement and that free flowing form, all the layering, you know, all the different, you know, it's not just one dead length or not dead length, but one solid length anymore that doesn't move. And that's what I mean when I say dead. Like it just looks like it's just a dead piece of hair on top of your head. You know, it's just not moving.
Right.
At all. So the 90s blowouts is coming back really strong. It's trending really strong. And there's over a 900% increase in searches on how to get it done, how to do it, how to find the pictures for it, so the clients can come in and say, you know, this is what I found. You know, can you make me look like this? Can you do this?
So are you saying like where there's a little more lift at the scalp?
A little, kind of similar to what you're saying. A little more lift to the scalp, not too big. They want that little bit of that volume coming up, but they don't want it too crazy, but they definitely want it moving on the bottom. They definitely want it.
Tell me your take on this first. Tell me your take on it.
My take on it is this. We had, you know, so we're in 2022 now, right? So for the past 2 years, we haven't done anything only because of the shutdowns, the lockdowns, the scares and the COVIDs and all the, you know, crazy BS stuff that we've had to deal with. So the trends for the past couple of years that I've been strongly complaining about, they've called it boho and chic and you know, basically hippie lazy crap because nobody had anywhere to go. There was no point to do anybody's hair. So everybody let it all grow out. Ombre was big, and that was just basically looking like trailer trash where you haven't done your hair in 6 months.
Oh my God.
you know.
Yeah.
So now how do you go from everybody's been lazy for 2 years and not having anything to do? How do you move the trend needle over to say, look, people, start doing your hair again and really start doing high fashion looks again? You can't just go from doing nothing to everything all in one shot. So the 90s blowouts, that soft fluffy movement blowouts, I think is a great transition to get us back into doing those high fashion, high power blowouts, getting more of a line bob or those symmetrical lines, or even the asymmetrical lines, those harder lines. So now with a 90s blowout comes 90s layering. And 90s layering was all about, you can go crazy with the layering and look like a little staircase. You could look like a Christmas tree, with all the little branches coming off of it. I mean, you could look like basically anything goes, because as long as the hair is, I say, it always reminds me of that runway walk. How I love how a girl, like when they got that little sachet walk thing moving that they're doing, or when you see like somebody behind the curtain and you just see their silhouette and they just have that really sexy movement going on.
Right.
That's the hair. If you could blow out that hair and just finish it off, really light hold to medium hold stuff, nothing too sticky, not too strong a hold, to finish that off with. It's such a beautiful look. When they're walking, it's bouncing with them. When they're standing still and the wind, get like a gust of wind and it just kind of blows across their face and then it comes back again. It's so freaking sexy. Like that's what I get excited about, It's so freaking wild to see that kind of movements in the hair, because for hair color, it just lends itself to so many more variations of doing accent pieces and highlighting and tone on tone coloring. With the extensions, it gives us so much more versatility to be able to put pieces in strategically rather than just going in for a full head. It lends itself to those partials and to those accent pieces and to those money shots or money pieces, or however you're supposed to say the money thing. It's so much fun. That's to me is where the styling options really comes in.
I like what you're saying there. And I think most people know, but for the new people here, Eddie has a passion for color, probably more than anything else. Mm-hmm. And so he's right. That style and those layers is going to show off some color a little bit better. And I also picked up on a couple of words you said. When you talked about long straight hair, you used the word dead. When you talked about bigger layered hair, you got super excited. And I see the difference. I mean, people like Madonna and Cher, they obviously, first of all, they operate with one name.
And we're not
That's how famous
on
they
them,
are.
by the way. I don't know how we got on this soapbox with them.
I love them. No, I love them both. I love them both. I mean, I was just telling somebody this weekend that when I'm on stage, I don't want a handheld microphone or a lapel mic because I want to look like Madonna. I want a headset mic.
Want that headset
mic? Because I want to be Madonna, She made that headset mic famous. But they both were trendsetters, and they just were doing different than anything else. Hair was big, and boom, they come out with straight, flat hair, and everybody wants to copy them. And I think it's actually a huge compliment to them that they are the two I remember from the beginning, and it's lasted almost 20 years solid of straight hair. What a powerful change and something to stick to. It's almost become iconic, straight hair. That flat straight hair will always look good no matter what other trends we go through. Whereas there are certain things that go away for a long time, and then it was truly just a trend. And if something is done so well, like a Michael Jackson song, or Elvis song, it's famous forever and it becomes iconic. And I think that's what they did. So yeah, definitely no disrespect to those two. But at the same time, now, as a hairdresser, how do you continue to change and evolve and make money? You can't just do the same thing over and over. You're just here for a trim, same old, just a little off the top, a little off the ends. I mean, you've got to, if you're going to be excited about your craft and keep the clients excited so that you don't get so bored that you just don't want to go to work anymore, the trends are what changes people, causes you to be able to make more money. And the fact that hair is getting a little bit bigger it's basically, for you newer hairdressers, it's basically how we tried to get flat, smooth hair with a blow dryer and a brush before flat irons were even around. We would get that hair around a round brush or just a bigger brush or a paddle brush before it was even called a paddle brush, and we would use use the air and the heat in a certain direction so we didn't blow it back towards the head and frizz it. It had to be coming in the right direction, and then you had to hold it on there till it cooled, and we would try to put the heat and put the tension and get it smooth, but there was always a little lift, and you decided how much lift. Like you were talking about how far off the head you pull it will give more lift at the scalp, how much bend you do just on the ends or the mid strands. So I like to categorize stuff. So I'm gonna say, when you're doing this with a round brush or any brush to put any bend in the hair, the three like major changes you can do the hair, and layer. I like what you said about layers. Layers are what's going to do it. And you can do a little bit of long layers at the bottom, medium layers, extreme layers, shag looking layers, really long but really short on the top. So there's so many layers to layers. But after you've got some layers in there, you can either, I guess the most common first, curl it under and just give a little lift. And those curls are not going to just stay under. They're going to turn sideways, flip up a little, but that's where you get that fun, playful movement. Or you can purposely just flip it up. And that's when you're going to see like that almost Christmas tree look, depending on how much layers you have, like you were talking about. And the more the layers, the more that flips up. And then you've got the other iconic style of our lifetime, Farrah Fawcett. It was feathered back, and that has come back lately too. So it's not flipped up and it's not flipped under. It's kind of flipped sideways to the back. Now the back is going to be curled up, curled under, all kind of playful, but having those sides layered across the front and then feathered back, it literally looks like feathers laid on top of each other. So up, down, or to the back. And then, of course, Jennifer Aniston, where it was kind of forward, wasn't up or down. And that was one of the more difficult things for stylists to figure out, was how to frame the face and get those curls to go forward. People were rolling it under with a brush thinking that went under. It didn't go under, and it didn't flip up. It was literally curled forward. And once you got it, and most stylists couldn't get it. So just think about that. It's that simple, guys. For those of you that just came out of school and all you've done is a flat iron for the last few years, you're going to have to start using a round brush. And you might have to take one of Robert Reed's blowout classes.
Yeah.
Yeah, art of the blow dry. You'll learn a little bit about, we should probably put some on our Teachable class about how to blow dry and style hair, because I think it's coming back. And I think a lot of stylists have not learned that in school because we've been flat ironing for so many years. Round brush and a blow dryer. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. I love it. So listen, I thought I was getting pretty good with a round brush and a blow dryer, and I was trying to learn to be a Paul Mitchell educator. And I thought I was getting good. I thought I was not good at it. I thought I was good enough to make some money. And I'm in this class, and this guy, one of the instructors, he said, I was a little weak on my speaking skills, and I didn't get the position, but he pulled me aside and he said, listen, you should take some speaking classes to learn how to speak a little bit better. But I got to say, the tension and the blow dry that you do, like nobody else's I've seen all day. And I was like, what? Really? I was so excited, It was like, he said, people just don't get the tension with the round brush. They don't blow in the right direction. They don't let it cool enough to lock that curl in. And you had all the pieces put together really well. You're good at demonstrating, but you have to work on the speaking skills. I didn't care about the speaking skills. I was so happy I did something great, I remember that he's passed away since then. And it's been 20 years and I still remember, like, thank you, Bear. Bear was his nickname. Thank you, Bear. I really appreciate the compliment. It still sticks with me. So yeah, I love a round brush and a blow dryer. It's all we had for the longest time. Next.
All right.
How long has it been? I don't have a clock because I'm using my phone instead of the computer today. Might have technical issues.
It hasn't been that long at all. It's only been about 5 minutes.
You're lying. What time is it?
No, it's been about 20 minutes.
Okay.
All right. So this is the last factoid, and then we're going to go into the quick fire round. And this is basically how we run our meetings. You should try this with your staff at your next meeting too. So this is how it goes. Hair color remover is hair color remover is the number one selling product
Oh my God.
in the
Why?
past because everybody was doing their hair at
Oh my
home.
God. That's hilarious. That's
Okay,
hilarious.
right. So now, if I say now, I just told you that, right? And it's funny.
And I know somebody that just bought 3 batches of it, had it delivered by like whatever those services are, like Uber Eats or whatever, or
Yeah,
Uber
sure.
Delivery.
Right, right.
Ordered it, ordered it from the drugstore, color remover 3 times because yes, they try to color their own hair. But what was the search? The search is for color
No,
remover.
no, 234% growth month over month. It is just like this continuing insane search term, how to do your own stain remover, or where do you buy stain remover from, and it is in the top 10 of most purchased, beauty care products.
So that means hairdressers are messing up color. And I bet you it's a lot of hairdressers messing up
No,
color
no, 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 no,
also.
no, no. This is at whole. This is consumer. These are consumer search terms. These are not professional beauty search terms. These are consumer search terms in the beauty
Yeah,
industry.
but it still could be. It still could be because you messed up their hair, and then they're going
Oh,
and
and then they're
searching on
going
how to.
home. So right. So are you the colorist who tattoos somebody all the way around down to here because you're applying color down here just to make sure you get the hairline? I've seen that so many different times.
I hate it. So let me give you a little. Since you said that, okay. So I'm anal. I get my own hair colored. I don't look this great and young all by myself, and and there's rumors that your hair is colored also.
Oh, it's not a rumor. It's a fact.
Okay.
Oh, it's a fact. I could be Santa Claus if I let all my hair grow out. I am that white. Even my face is
Uh,
that. I color my face too, and I have no shame. I do color my hair all the time.
so for me, we use from Redken color gels. I don't even know if that's the name of it anymore. Color. It was color camo, and then they changed the name to like color bruise or men's bruise or something. But it's a deposit on. I don't know if you can tell. Some of my grays will still show, and I don't even remember what the question. Oh, color remover. Okay, so we went a little too dark recently, and I was a little worried that I might have to use a remover. But the putting it on, when they put it on, what I notice is a big fat thick brush is brushing the line. And just a little clue, guys, get close to the line with a big flat brush. Then use the corner of the brush to get that whole front edge. So even if you're staining the skin right on the hairline in a zigzag pattern because that corner is never going to leave a straight line. Right? I don't know why people like paint that solid line 1 inch forward, then they try to remove it. Don't put it there if you don't want to take it off. What is wrong with hairdressers? In my own salon, it happens, and I just don't understand. I love that you call it a tattoo. What is up with that? It's so stupid.
They're
It's
so
so
scared. They're so scared they're gonna miss the hairline. They're so scared they're not gonna get close enough. And
just
there's
do
gonna be a
this.
thing.
Oh, there's the hairline. I mean, yeah, I might be scared now if I didn't have my glasses on, but I've only been wearing glasses for about a decade, and so I'm 53 years old, and somewhere, you know what? Only about 70. Actually about 45 years old, I started realizing I couldn't see too well. But for most of my hair career, the funny thing is, I started wearing glasses right after I got out from behind the chair. I knew when my time was up. So now if I do a little stage work or video work, I'll put the glasses on to see a little better what's going on. But you don't. All right, so color remover. Let's talk about a few things. A lot of times, hairdressers are listening to their clients too much. This is what I want, and they don't have a professional recommendation. Yeah, sure, a lot of clients are messing themselves up because almost every person I ever know, even hairdressers, always err on the side of too dark or let it process a little too long and they go too dark. So let's talk about that for just a second. Maybe we can solve clients and hairdressers' problems here. When when you go a little too dark, what's the fix? The fix is color doesn't lighten color. So you can't just put, like I couldn't put medium brown color on your hair right now and it'll just change it from black to medium brown.
Correct.
No, color doesn't lighten color. So we would have to bleach it up or color remove it. So we got to remove color somehow and then recolor. Two processes. Let's say that I'm trying to color my hair your color, but I'm like, you know what? I really want her darker brown, but I'm scared I might go your color if I go too dark. I'd rather put a little lighter color on, because if I go a little too light and I come out and the customer says, ooh, that's a little light. What's the fix? One color darker. The fix is one process, one chemical process to go a little bit darker, fast and easy. But once you go too dark, the fix is two processes. So I always say err on the side of a little lighter. Most people like a little lighter anyway, unless they're saying color me black, blue, black. I want to be dark, dark brown. But most women who want some middle of the road brown or middle of the road blonde, they almost always. I had a guy that used to come in and color his own beard, and I said, "What happened? We're getting ready to do hair replacement on you. We matched your color. Now your beard is like dark brown." He goes, "Well, that's what I get, the dark brown just for men." I said, "You should be getting medium brown. Most men should be getting light brown, and it already will turn a little darker than they think." He's been so happy. In most cases, all you need to do is go one shade lighter than what you're already doing, and your hair will look better. That would solve probably 80% of the color remover problems that are out there. Most people just go a little too dark or a lot too dark because they see the color, and then the color on the box mixed with the color they already have ends up a little darker than the color on the box. Wouldn't you say, Mr. Color Expert?
I know those are good points that you bring up. And the only thing I'll add to that is, if clients are doing their own hair,
They shouldn't.
they shouldn't. But if they are doing their own hair, why? Have that conversation with them. Don't be embarrassed about it. Are you doing your own hair at home because you can't afford to come in to get your hair done? Or are you doing it because it's a convenience thing? Or it's doing it because that's just what you got used to doing? You know, what is the reason why? And don't fight them on their reason. Just find out what their reasons are and then simply say this. If you want to continue doing that, that's not a problem. If you would like to, I could do it for you. And then something that I do is, look, you want to color your hair at home? That's fine, but you can't highlight your hair at home. So why don't you come on in? I'll throw a couple of highlights around your hairline or around your face or wherever, you know, just off the crown or just off the top. It's reasonable. It's a reasonable price that I'll charge for it. I'm getting them to come in for services. They're happy. I'm happy. It's a win-win for everybody all the way around. And then eventually, some of them, they just come in and I start doing their hair color all together, like the all over color and everything else, right? But that's the business angle on it, because people want personalized services. They really do. One of the reasons people will do their own hair at home is because they think they can do it just the same as at the salon. Like, how many times you hear somebody say, "Oh, I can never do it. You know, I never look this good when I do it myself at home." Well, yeah, everybody knows how to cook. If you know how to cook food, why do you go to a restaurant? Because once in a while, you want a chef, you want a professional to make you a meal that tastes better than what you can do at home, right?
Right.
So you come to the salon, you want your hair done a little bit better than what you could do at home. Now, if your mentality is it's the same, then unfortunately your hairdresser is missing something.
Right. Yeah.
Or she's crazy. Yeah, okay, fine. She's just crazy.
And why did we go? Right. And our license means something. We got a little bit of practice. We should be a little better. We do it all day, every day, most likely. I like that you said talk to the client. So I was kind of dealing with the problem at the end. But yeah, I'd like to address what you just said too. I found I was going to just be totally unselfish one day and not think about myself or the money. And I looked at a lady's hair. It was a little past her shoulders, and it was so obvious that the ends were much darker than the roots. And you can tell, I know I'm calling it roots. Some people like to call it the base. But the hair coming out of her scalp was a little bit of gray. And then it was probably the color brown she likes for that little half inch. And then continuously, as it went down the shaft, it was a little darker, 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 till it was black. Almost in half inch to 1 inch increments. What does that say to you immediately in a short answer?
They were only touching up what was grown out and they weren't pulling it through their ends.
Just the opposite. No, just the opposite. It was darker on the ends. So what she's doing is putting the
Oh,
hair
it was
color.
darker on the ends. My bad. So she was
Yeah,
pulling it through scalp to ends immediately the entire time.
every single time she colored it.
Yeah.
So that was my very first thing. I said, "You color your own hair at home?" And she says, "How do you know?" Because it looks like a billboard to me. I said, "Well, let's talk about this. Your hair grows about a half an inch a month, and that's the only part that actually needs color. So the other part of hair that's right here used to be right here last month, and I'm guessing you put the hair color on your whole head when you color your hair just to color those little bit of roots. You're coloring your whole head." And she said, "Well, how else would you do it?" I said, "Well, I would use a bowl and a brush." And so I decided to teach her. I said, "Well, if you're going to do it at home, this is what you need to do. You need to use a bowl and a brush and only get the color on the gray hairs because that's all that needs color." So can you imagine it that if hair grows a half an inch a month, your hair at 6 inches is about a year old. So every time you've colored your hair for the last year, this piece of hair right here at the ends has been colored every single time over a year. And so what's happening is more and more color molecules. It's still that medium brown that you want, but there's so many medium brown molecules stuffed in the ends of that damaged hair now that it's starting to look darker and darker. It's almost like taking a medium brown color, but you just really scraping it in there hard, and it's starting to look muddy and darker. You don't need those ends colored. So what you need to do is just do the roots, and sure, those ends will fade over some time. And so maybe the last 5 or 10 minutes, pull the rest of your formula or mix another part of the formula or mix another formula is what professionals would do. A lot of things. I'm trying to tell it the easy way. Pull a little color through to the ends just for a few minutes right at the end. And you know what she said? Wow, I didn't realize doing it right was so involved, so complicated, that she didn't know I had so much knowledge about how it works. And the fact that I saw, like I could tell what she's doing at home just by looking at her hair because her hair just spoke to me. She said, "I didn't realize there was a better way. I would love for you to do it instead. Do you have time today?" So I found just being honest and nice, telling them how they could do it at home better, showed them there's a reason I have a license. There's a reason why you shouldn't be doing it. And you probably can't do it really good and well at home by yourself. Now, sure, some people are doing each other's hair. Girlfriends go do each other's hair at home, and that's fine. Sometimes you can do it right. It takes a lot of time and effort. And like you said, it's usually worth the money to save the time and have a professional do it. And it's what we do every day. So we hopefully have learned from our mistakes,
So
depending
now
on the experience. Go
we're
ahead.
going to go into the quick fire round. So
And
this
then
is
we're
what I
done.
do. And then we're done. I come up with these couple of things. I come in, I start the conversation like this. So now everybody loosened up and now everybody's having fun and they're feeling more comfortable, right?
Except me.
Except for you. You're still nervous? Okay, in no particular order, I'm going to say a trend to you, and all you have to do is in one sentence describe what it is. One sentence. And then you just have to say for what texture, density, and porosity type of hair is it good for and not good for, or just good for.
Oh my God. I hate games. Is stupid a sentence?
Yes.
That might be my
Yes.
okay.
Yes. Okay. So do you want to use that for the first one?
I don't know. Go. What is the first one?
Wolf cut.
All textures, densities, very trendy, and it's a revision of the mullet. I love it. I really do. When I got this haircut short right here, I know this is not a lightning round. When I got this cut real short, it was disconnected. I can't believe how much better I'll look than this puffy look on the sides. You apparently hate it. I'd love to know in the comments below. Do you love this? I like mullet. Do you like this mullet or not? Go. What's the next one? This
All right,
is lightning.
next one. Curtain bangs.
I don't even know what that means. Curtain bangs. Does it cover the eyes?
Well, you know what a curtain is.
Can I get an origin of the word and a preface?
Yeah, right. No, you know what a curtain is for a window dressing, right?
Yeah.
So now, how would that apply to hair?
I don't know. All bangs are a curtain for your forehead.
Exactly.
So is it just a finer,
No,
thinner
it's
row of
just
bangs?
it's just coming down and it kind of
Thick
sweeps
or
open.
thin?
Thin.
So it's a thin layer of bangs. So the old-fashioned term was baby bangs. Remember Star Search? Bobby Brown, pretty blonde. Every single model that tried to beat her had that baby bang curtain bang. I think it's coming back. Long hair, just a curtain bang is a new cool look to kind of lower and uh, I don't know what, make the face a little smaller and frame the face. I think it's a good new change in trend coming back.
Okay. Money piece.
So money piece can mean a lot of things. To me, it means a couple of blonde highlights around the front, or just over to one side, or both sides, or a little bit more. But for the most part, it can be done with extensions, hair color, clip in, or it can be long straight hair and a couple of short pieces just cut shorter that kind of frame your face. Love it.
Okay. Skunk stripe.
Stupid.
That was the epitome of the 90s going to the club look. Remember that? It was all dark in the bottom underneath. It was all light on top, and you just have this one fat freaking streak coming down the side of the head.
Just never liked it. I know it was popular, and and bold highlights are coming back. I just don't like it. Let's keep it lightning. Go.
Fluffy hair.
Well, I love big hair. I know it. I know a lot of people aren't going to like big hair because they're getting so used to close fall small hair. But it's kind of like baggy pants. Oh my God, they were so popular for so long, and then everybody went to tight pants. And it, some of the girls are a little more risky and go on the bigger, blousier type pants, and the guys just aren't doing it yet. They're scared, but it's going to come back whether you like it or not. I personally
can't wait for
love
guys
big
to
hair.
start wearing pants again that are not skin freaking tight.
Go.
Uh,
Is that it?
Blonde highlights on brown hair.
Going to be around forever. I like blonde highlights. I think blonde highlights makes anybody look better and or younger.
Hair tinsel.
Christmas. I mean, I mean, my stylist just asked me yesterday, can we get tinsel for the salon? And I'm like, yes. In my head, I'm thinking, why? So stupid. I know people love the feathers, the tinsel, all kind of hair ornaments, jewelry. It makes money. You should get it. It's so fast and easy to do, to tie a freaking. You got to get the strong stuff. There's some weak tinsel and there's some strong tinsel. Get the strong tinsel, tie a really good knot near the scalp, and charge $10, $20. It's so freaking easy. But to me, yeah, the holidays are coming. Probably going to be more famous during the Christmas season, but still don't like it. Stupid.
Okay. And now this is an oxymoron. It doesn't make any sense to me. This is like a jumbo shrimp thing. Ashy copper or ashy warm hair.
That is stupid. Huh?
It is
I don't even
stupid,
know.
right?
I don't even know what that means either. But you're right.
There is this freaking obsession with
Is
people.
it neutral?
I mean that's what it means, but that's not what people are asking for. People want to be
So
redheads,
visually,
brunettes, auburns. They want to have some kind of reddish tones. But the most famous thing that all of us hairdressers always joke about with each other is, my client says, I still see red. You look like a flat matte finish. There is no freaking red in the hair whatsoever. But any kind of warmth, any kind of light they see, they can perceive that as red.
So for those of you out there that are not stylists, ashy means green.
Green.
It means lack of red or orange, and warm means red or orange. So when people say, I want an ashy warm, it's like I want a green red. There's no such thing. If you mix them evenly, you don't see any warmth or ash. And I guess extreme warm is going to be a bright red, and an ashy warm is going to be more of a muted, almost barely warm, is all I can guess. I never did get it. It's just stupid. The safe thing is to say, show me a picture. Let them show you a picture and show you it. But yeah, it is an oxymoron.
What I've discovered is you do the consultation when a client comes in asking for this. Sit down. Like don't even stand up anymore. Just pull up a chair, pull up a stool, sit down, and
Lightning
say,
round.
what is happening? No, that's the end of the lightning round.
Okay.
Have a seat, have a talk, and say, what is it that's bothering you? Why do you not want this? So that's what it is. Look,
Getting there. Look, I got like a mini mullet. Just
got-
barely. Barely. My wife is running for school board locally in District 10, and she said I had to get a haircut before any political pictures with me. I said, I draw the line there. We have never told each other how to dress, how to get our hair cut. This is trendy in my industry. I really resent those remarks that I need a haircut. She's pretty serious about it. She thinks I need to get, and I'm not sure I'm going to do it. I think I might just try to style it where it doesn't look like a mullet for a minute. I don't want to cut it. I'm loving it. It might be the stupidest thing I've done in a long time, but I like it, and I got to go.
Isn't there the expression "sleep with one eye open"? No. So look, the final thought is this: we play this game at the salon. It's in an effort to make sure that we are staying current, that we are staying trendy, and that we are paying attention to what the needs are of the clients that are coming in and just what's going on in the industry, so we don't get bored. So if you think that's something fun, do it with your staff, and let us know what the sunglasses that he's talking about he needs to be wearing. Maybe it'll make his haircut look better and he won't have to cut it. And we'll talk to you all next week.
Bye.